Is this series of videos just an excuse for me to talk about creepypasta for whole videos? Yes. And no, because I really like Channel Zero and I want to talk about each season individually because their stories are vastly different and really just encompass so many different genres of horror. So, that being said, we discussed last time Channel Zero Season 1 Candle Cove. This week we're going to discuss Channel Zero Season 2 No End House, which is about a house that doesn't end. If the title is not obvious enough, it's very on the nose. No End House. Guess what it's about? House got no end. It's based on a creepypasta, also called No End House, I believe. I haven't read that one in a while, but if I remember right, it's like a haunted house you go into. It's like an attraction, like like a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house you go into, and it's infinite, and every room is scarier than the last, and it's people never lasted like past a certain room. I forgot which room. I think it was like the fifth or sixth room, and yeah, I forgot the details, but the details of like what each room had in them are terrifying. And then that if you make it past there, you're stuck in the house. It's a really good creepypasta though. There's a reason it was made into a whole season of television. It's fantastic. So that being said, this season is I think by and large of the fans of the show, me included, honestly, kind of everyone's favorite season is No End House, for the most part. Um, and the reason is because it's so, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it without spoiling it. But it's so genuine, and the drama is so good. Their performances are great, and it's so real and raw in its characters. And the horror isn't just from creatures, though there are some, I wouldn't say creatures, but there are some monstrous things going on here. The more of the horror that comes in this season is more like psychological. It's more of just the ideas of things that are horrific, that like you see them unfold, and just the very thought of something like this happening is terrifying. And yeah, I think it's a really effective horror story, but also like if you took the scary stuff out of this, it would be an effective like science fiction story or something. Like it's a really good story. So yeah, look, here's the plot. I'll tell you what. These friends, they hear about the famous No End House. One of them has just still is recovering from a very tragic loss in their life, and her friends kind of drag her into this. Let's go to the No End House. Take your minds off things. I heard this house is like really spooky and stuff. So they go to the No End House, and now they're in the No End House. That's all. That's all I'll go into. And for a reason, I'll only go into that because I think the twists that this show has are really great. There's some really good. People flip flop. Characters flip flop all over the place. You don't know who to trust. You don't know whose intentions are good and whose intentions are bad. And sometimes they, flip flop again every episode. And so it's a great way to keep you on your toes, keep you nervous. There's a lot of nervousness in this show because you're like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know, maybe not. And this show is, I'll say this, whereas the last season, Candle Cove, dealt with like the trauma of a childhood. This season was like all about, it's very Midsummer. If season 1 is Hereditary, this is Midsummer in two very distinct ways, because season 1, it's all about like inheriting the kids inheriting this sort of fucked up curse of Candle Cove, of the show, and season 2 is more like like Midsummer, it's all about just really hard grief and the memory of grief and just how to get over grieving somebody and how those memories of that person are forever tainted by the way you lose them. It's a very heavy season, and it's wonderfully done. I think it's wonderfully done. There are some stumbles. There are some character intentions that are I'm still, this is like my third time watching this season because I really love this season, but even now there's still some character bits where I don't really understand why they're doing what they're doing. Specifically the friend, her best friend character, she does some certain things in the beginning and in the middle where I'm like, why would you? I don't understand. They don't really explain. They don't really go delve into her story as deep as I would like them to. But by the end, her character is fantastic. By the finale, she's great. And the horror of this is sort of like, quite literally, your memories haunting you. Your memories are eating you alive. And what happens if you can't get over that? What happens if you let the past just consume you and hollow you out? And it's terrifying. It's the way they translate that into a sort of creature. It's a sort of the sort of beast of this show is very interesting, disgusting at points, and just fascinating to watch. A very cool idea of like having, well, I can't give it away, but it's just a very cool idea of the way your memories can eat you alive. I also love the horror of the suburbs. Just just how scary the suburbs could be, because a lot of this show is in daytime. A lot of this show is in like the suburban streets, and you don't realize how scary the suburbs are until you're trapped in the suburbs, man. Which I was, and I can tell you, I don't like the suburbs, and I miss the suburbs at the same time. So I wholly understand where this show's coming from. That place could trap you, and you don't want to get trapped in the suburbs. And I also like the characters in this show, or the character arcs in this show, from where these characters start to where they finish, are so different, and but yet so natural that you forget just how different they are from the beginning to the end. But in watching it again, I'm like, wow, they really, the whole journey for everyone in this show is fascinating. And yeah, people die, but like even their journey, even when someone dies early, you're like, well, that dude's journey was a logical conclusion for that person. And I also really love the whole house aspect of it. I don't know how to not give this away. The No End house, every room is fascinating in a way to me. First room being like this creepy, like the lights go out and the lights come back on, and there's these like statues of your face on a table, and you're like, how'd they get a statue of my face? How'd they get my face? And everyone tries to rationalize it. It's like, oh, 3D printing or something, but already immediately you should be wary that it's otherworldly, because how can somebody make a statue of your face immediately? And then the second room is like this empty swimming pool, and then there's this dude with this terrifying mask. Very cool mask. I wish we got more of that dude. I want to know what that whole... That's another bump in the road for me, is I don't think this show... Well, it didn't have to. I mean, you got to keep some things vague in horror, especially when it comes to monster origins. Otherwise, you'll get like the end of It, and Pennywise just being like a crab monster. But I really do wish they delved more into what the house is, because there are some vague things happening with this house that I wish it better explained. There is a dude in a mask in the first episode. I don't think we ever see that dude again, but like, who was that? What was that dude's deal? What's going on there? But again, I think that's its intention, is to make you be like, what's going on? And then the third room was like this really long hallway, and there's a mirror, and you could see somebody's feet behind the mirror, and that's just creepy alone. That alone is creepy. And then slowly and slowly, as each room progresses, it starts to get more personal for the person witnessing these rooms. Like, they start accessing things that there's no way the people that would be organizing this haunted house would know about you, which plays into the whole thing of memories. The whole concept of this season is memories, tainted memories, traumatic memories, memories you wish you didn't have, memories you wish you didn't lose. It's all about your memory. It's all about looking back. It's all about the past. And I think it's really well done. Again, if not for some iffy character choices and some iffy world rules about this house. As for the horror of it all, it starts out horrific. It does start out spooky. It does start out pretty scary. And then for a good chunk of the middle, the horror turns into more of a suspense, more of a thriller, more of a just the implications of what this house is, just the implications of what these characters are going through, just the very idea of what if this happened to you, how it is scary. It's very scary. And then by the end of it, it goes back to straight like scary shit happening, which I like. I like that there's a break in the end, because if it was all just scary shit, we would be like, all right, we get it. This house is scary. But that there's a lull in the middle where you get comfortable with the house is very necessary, I think. And yeah, that's just, I really like this season. And I want to talk about it more, but I don't want to give things away, because I think everybody should watch this show. Again, it's on Shudder, but I do recommend buying the whole series. It's only 4 seasons. It's great. But yeah, that's all I could say without giving everything away. The performances are I will say the performances are great. The main girl is really good. I don't know where I've seen her, if I've seen her in other things after this, but I think she's wonderful. She reminds me of a friend of mine, to be honest with you, but she's absolutely great. And the person playing her dad, which is the guy, I know his name, but this man, if you see this man show up in anything, except for Fargo, but if you see this man show up in any TV show or movie, immediately you're like, oh, this is a scary thing. This is going to get spooky, because this man is always spooky. Almost always spooky, except for, give or take a few things. He's a great character actor. John Carroll Lynch. Absolutely awesome character actor. I don't know why he doesn't have a John Goodman type career at this point, because I really like that dude and everything he's in. Yeah, all the other characters are good too, but I can't say anything about their performances without giving away their character arcs. But I will say, certain people are fucking assholes by the end. And it's very well done how that's revealed. But yeah, also I have a fear of body snatchers and doppelgangers. That's my genuine legitimate fear. I'm scared of doppelgangers, body snatchers, clones. Just if you get attacked by people that you know, but they're not like us, the movie Us. Just that scares the shit out of me. So this season, just that alone was scary for me. That's not giving too much away, I hope. But yeah, if that's your type of horror, if Midsummer is your type of horror, where the way it dealt with grief and all that, if that's your type of horror, I really highly recommend No End House. It's a wonderful season of television. And then we get into season 3, which is Butcher's Block, which I only seen once. I'm gonna rewatch it soon, but that was a weird one if I remember correctly. That one gets into real horror shit, which is weird because the creepypasta it's based on is not that fucking gross. But speaking of creepypasta, here's my excuse to talk about more creepypasta. Here's another YouTube channel I forgot to mention. Channel 58. Local 58, I believe. Local 58 is fucking... I wish they did more. Why didn't they do more? And I found out that the person who made the Local 58 channel is the guy who did the Candle Cove story. Which, of course, it makes sense because Candle Cove being like a cursed old TV show and Local 58 being like this cursed TV channel. It's on point. It's on brand. And it's so perfectly executed. The aesthetic of Local 58. Just like this creepy... Like, if you wake up at 3 in the morning and you see this on TV, it would scare the goddamn shit out of you. Like, just like the fuzzy VHS stuff of it all and the paid programming that all of a sudden it glitches out and turns into something else completely. And there's just the implications of something horrifying going on behind the scenes of these things. And then it gets more dark and scary as the videos progress. And I think it's a wonderful... I wouldn't call it creepypasta thing, but I think it's a wonderful YouTube channel. I'm just shouting out YouTube channels that I love that are like horror oriented. Tribe 12 was the Slender Man channel that I forgot the name of. Tribe 12. Absolutely great Slender Man stuff. Marble Hornets is good. It's really good. And it kind of, kickstarted the whole Slender Man thing. And those people have moved on to like other amazing horror stories that they tell via internet stuff. But I think Tribe 12 is great it's gone on for so long. I don't know, is it still going on? I haven't kept up, but it's gone on for a long time, and the way they keep up with it and the way they just it's great. I don't want to give things away for that, but Tribe 12, the YouTube channel. What's another one? There's one where a girl has a pet monster. Fuck, I wish I could remember it. I'll put up the title here somewhere. But she's got a pet monster, and it's like a lifestyle channel of her like raising this pet monster. And every video as the monster grows up, it gets more and more fucked up and crazy. That is a wonderful channel. Fun fact, actually, when I started this reaction channel, I kind of wanted to slowly turn it into one of those types of channels where there's like a story behind everything, and like maybe this channel would end up being cursed by some sort of like Lovecraftian monster that is like forcing me to be here. But I don't have the resources to do that. I don't have the wherewithal to figure things how that shit works. But I love to watch it. I would love to do one of those one day. Hopefully, if I ever start another YouTube channel, it's 100% going to be like a narrative story disguised as a YouTube channel, disguised as a vlog channel. Like I love it when like a vlog channel slowly turns into like a plot-driven thing. It really, that's like a new form of storytelling that I think people are just discovering, that is still fairly new, and I think we're seeing like the beginnings of things that are really, really cool to see. So that channel, once again, Alan Resnick with the 2 Adult Swim shorts that he did, which were unedited footage of a bear, which if you've seen unedited footage of a bear, you know that it starts out normal, and then as it progresses, it slowly gets fucked up and creepy. And there's more. There's a website that you could visit from that video. That's in the video. You go to the website, and it deepens the lore. It deepens the story that the video shows. And his other series, This House Has People in It, which has even like, it's got the deepest fucking lore. Like there's websites and security cam videos and just so much shit to dig through to actually get to the meat of the story. And I love that. I love the investigative part of like trying to figure out what the story is. And that's where I don't have the wherewithal. I don't know how to do any of that shit. I don't even know where to begin with that shit. But things like Everyman Hybrid, Marble Hornets, Tribe 12, Local 58, Alan Resnick stuff, they all have like these deep lores that you got to dig into, on top of having fantastic YouTube channels that are on the surface just as scary, which plays into Channel Zero. These fantastic creepypasta stories that are on the surface really scary and well written, and then the series adapts them and just really deepens their lore into something more, and I like that. But yeah, that's enough rambling about creepypastas for today, and I'll come back next week with more creepypastas when I talk about the next season of Channel Zero, which would be Butcher's Block, which, as you can tell by the title, it's gonna get real fucking gross. So yeah, see y'all next time for that.